Why did I not write down what I wanted to do? But basically, I think I'm just going to package everything into a nice little folder for Perm, or not folder, but basically into a mod pack, and then I'll just release it. Because again, as you'll see in the coming episodes, if you haven't ever seen, oh my goodness, this is kind of a standard run. If you haven't seen basically the stray episodes here and there, I've actually made quite a bit of custom content on Perm. But and funny enough, they were all like template-like things, but they're all scattered all over the place, and of course they need some polish. So, without further ado, as we immediately get into... I nearly forgot which old god I was on. As we get into Herald World of Horror, Nurse Miku. But the important part is I actually could just make this a backstory. Yeah, I could just make this a backstory where you just have the order ticket on you and you get Tonkotsu Ramen. Now, I do need to add likely a negative effect, but... yeah, it would be nice. I think it would be more an advantageous backstory, and except for the fact that you can't randomize backstories anyway, so that's more like a me thing. But if you use this immediately, basically get a food item. So this comes with the Tonkotsu Ramen, which I would need to also include, because otherwise I would probably be asking for another item, but we'll see. It might actually be just like cursed ramen or something of the sort. That's kind of what's flowing through my brain with the little time I have, because I am doing a game jam in June. So, yeah, without further ado, let's get into a run. Now, on a character with no weapon, it's still an okay run, as we get Akamanto, Ward, Vigil, Goal, and Colt. Oh, that's a lot of boss mysteries, but I just have... So what I do, just really quickly, is that I randomize basically which custom mysteries I play with, except that I don't like to repeat mysteries I've already done, so I think we're on my second loop of all the custom mysteries I have loaded up in the chamber, and yeah, that's all I need to say at the moment. I should take probably Colt now, just in case, or Goal, because we do have the syringe. So the little strategy here, if you have a character that, you know, has... healing procs, or they randomize healing, or just get healing in general, whether through first aid or... There isn't a stamina version, is there? There's discipline, but that's for events. But anywho, I think, yeah, let's just take gold now. So what I was going to say is that with this particular setup, we could get basically more things to throw or use for healing if we took other mysteries first. But I'm just going to take gold now for the purposes of getting rid of this boss. So... yeah, not really much else to say. School max threat level, hospital max threat level, village high, and did we have ward? I'm going absolutely crazy. I'm going to check the illegal den, just to be sure. We do have ward. So, can I sell this, by the way? No. For good reason. So, look at the ally really quickly, but we need to come back in here because we need to grab that hospital pass. Unless ward is covered up by something else. But I'm still going to grab the hospital pass, and if I don't have ward, I guess I'll cry. But, anyway, moving on. I forgot to use the police station, but moving on. This is not good, by the way. I should not have done... I lost quite a bit of Doom. This is why I say, and I'll mention it again. It's been a while since I talked about it, but this is why I say preparing for, or getting a weapon is probably one of the damaging parts. Not the most damaging, but definitely a damaging part of a run. But for good reason. Like, at least you have the flexibility. There is some pluses to it. You get to control what weapon you start with, or get... but the downside is that, yes, you have to spend quite a bit of resources. Usually Doom. Sometimes, if you want a tree instead, you'll get a curse, but you get the point. You have to find a weapon somewhere. Not working with a weapon unless you're a kick-based character, or a character who can use kicks, doesn't usually go well. I would not advise it, basically. If you wanted to, you could, but usually you're looking for something to supplement your damage, whether you're RNGing into the illegal den looking for Fujiko, whether you are RNGing into the history club looking for damage increase through a demon mask, or I think you can get the ritual spell. Yeah, all spells should be available in the history club. You just have to RNG into it. But maybe you get something else. Like, again, at least the history club, you have several... not option select, that wouldn't be the complete correct thing to say, but you get to do stuff. So, this is primarily stamina damage. We can't eat the Tonkotsu Ramen. I would like to trade off some reason first. So, we're going to trade off 4 reason for 2 stamina. And I think with this, we might be able to get out if I just do Desperate Prep Strong after this turn. Because the syringe should do at least 9 damage. And if it doesn't, I'm just going to be sad. But... yeah, we should be able to get out here. And if not, I'll opt to like the ramen eat. We would probably need to eat the ramen anyway. We can also throw it. I think it does like 1 damage, but... anywho. So we did get a weird substance. Could have used that to throw. That would have saved me a turn of damage, because we literally do 6 guaranteed damage. Unless I want to gamble. Can I even gamble? I guess we'll find out in my next encounter. But, oh yeah, so we do have ward. Excuse me. And we do have the handcuffs, but I would rather use them on Akamanto. Between Ward and Akamanto, because you can escape from the boss of Ward, I would say if you can do handcuff tech, or you allow yourself to do handcuff tech, because maybe you're like, oh, that's a bug, or that's not fair. So be it, but I'm just saying, if you want to use it, if you had to pick between the two, I would say Akamanto, because Akamanto is guaranteed. Now, if you're going for ending A Akamanto, that's something else, but that's the end of your second base tip for this video. So, without further ado, Colt, this is Vigil, right? It's not Fetus, yeah. Funny enough, I think Fetus is easier than Vigil, because Vigil, you're stuck in a location, but, yeah, we'll save Colt for later. Actually, we'll save Ward for later. Yeah, we'll save Ward for later, and the reason for that is because we can run from Ward, so I don't know why I was mentioning 4 bosses in the beginning. It's just my mind running wild. Anywho, we have 2 funds. Let's go for it. And I think leaving now does something, but no. Okay, good. And off we go. If we can get something to sell, that would be nice. If we don't, so be it. I need to carry the handcuffs with me, by the way. So, yeah. Do we have the thingamajiggy? No, we don't have the price hike. So what we'll do instead is we'll take the substance, because usually with the 3 base band damage weapon, I just monkey brain into thinking, okay, I need something else other than just 6 damage a turn. That might not be correct. Oh my goodness, why am I coughing lately? But yeah, we'll see. I was gonna do some. Oh yeah, cigarettes. So we'll use this later in the run, if we need it, if we need to. Probably at the end of Colt. And then we'll look for funds later, because we still have the witch tree in the chamber. So. Also, I have to remind myself to switch the police patrols right before the end of Colt here, so should be able to react to the vanity text. Again, I use the vanity text a lot to kind of gauge where I'm at in a mystery, in case I'm not counting, because maybe I am commentating, and so I just lose a lot of time. Also, we're gonna throw the substance here, because we'll save ourselves a turn. Weird substance? Did I throw the right thing? No, it's supposed to be Eldritch Fluid. Well, either way we get out. Okay, good. I nearly made a mistake there. Am I going crazy? Weird substance is also recovery then, right? Is that the one? Yeah, it's actually recovery. Well, we'll still carry it with us. It allows us to deal damage. But there is some slight nuance. So between 7 throw damage and recovering 2 all, depends on the situation, really. One's not... I wouldn't say one's readily better than the other. Or one's definitely better than the other, because maybe you're going through a bunch of events instead of enemies, and so you're like, I don't need the throw damage, because you can't throw damage at an event. A shrug. So, yeah, so we go into a maxed level school, but because we're about to enter Ward, we need to do this. So, oh, actually, no, we're going to do Colt. Well, too late, so shrug. If I go into Colt and there are a lot of school investigations, so be it. Do I want to take a risk here? No. Yeah, let's take... Yeah, because the middle book could be an occult diary. It doesn't always... It's not always, but it's a book of some sort. The book pool, if you want to be more specific. And, yeah, the weird substance here, we need to actually gobble it down, because otherwise we're going to die. So, we should be able to brace here. My next question is, can we do anything else? Also, we can grab more tonkotsu ramen, I just realized. Yeah. Let's do our best. So, we brace here. We probably do have to eat another tonkotsu ramen. We'll top off our reason. That's why I didn't want to trade reason instead. But I think we need to go for another attack. Then we can desperate prep strong, handcuff tech our way out. Like, I'm not going to deny handcuff tech has saved me a lot of runs. So, and if you can't do handcuff tech, if you're like, Jordan, play a run without handcuff tech, I promise you, it's going to become even lamer than what you're seeing on screen. So, but anyway, yeah, let's get into Ward as we actually, yeah, we'll just equip this immediately. We probably shouldn't have, but I'm just doing it. Yeah, and then I can't even store this or throw this away, so it literally sits in inventory. So this could be just a backstory, but I don't want to eat that now, unless I'm just going for a greedy 33% 3 stamina gain, but not really any reason to. So, let's grab... Actually, no. I said I was going to take Colt first. Yeah, because we can run from Ward. So, Colt first, because we don't know if we're going to be fighting a boss. And... yeah, we'll go into this topic. So, for battle specifically, you don't always need to be very fast. That is, I think, one of the better ways. I don't know if it's the best way to get through an encounter, because I would argue having damage elsewhere, either through a spell, item use, or item throwing, can be just as good because you're literally doing damage without actually having to risk taking damage. And then recovery with, say, Tonkotsu Ramen or anything else, a character that can recover, especially in the heat of battle. Oh my sweet goodness, damage, by the way. In the heat of battle, like, you're not going to die, so you can take, like, 7 turns dealing damage. Now, again, there's nuance there, because if you're on, immediately I can think of, if you're on, say, medical history, you don't want to be in an encounter very long, because that means you can proc a bunch of, you can proc a lot of negative status effects, a lot of them being bad for you, whether they're minor or major. Should have traded a reason there, by the way, but we have Tonkotsu Ramen to option select stamina recovery. Now, it's a waste of reason, but hey, I could also tree for stamina, but because I'm saving it for a possible second cigarette use. But when, oh, my dexterity is relatively low. Oh, I can't beat the full 12 roll. Oh, but anywho. Now, that being said, let me rewind back. I say that a lot, but it's good to remind ourselves that we play the game for a reason. So when we are dealing with RNG, we're gonna skip the boss, by the way. When we're dealing with RNG, we should be prepared. It's something that I think more than a few players probably won't agree with, but I do see the value in something the developer said at one point, and it was pertaining to Harbinger of Doom difficulty. But you can apply this generally to at least this instance of dealing with RNG. Is that you, as part of the strategy is preparing for RNG. Now, that might not sound intuitive, but then that's why I said I'm sure a lot of players won't agree, and I see the reason why. But we play for a challenge, and if I didn't want to challenge myself as much, I would not play on Harbinger of Doom. Now, there's more nuance to that conversation, but I can't think about it right now as I'm trying to not die. So, let me see what I can do here. How guaranteed is this? Okay, so what we can do here instead is we can trade off a bunch of reason for stamina. Yeah, I'll trade for a reason. I don't like trading often more than that, but depends on the situation you're in, right? Like, if you need to trade, like, 8 reason for 4 stamina or vice versa, so be it. But, yeah, that's all I can fit anyway, so off we go. Do we have Restless bonus? If we have the Restless bonus, I'm just going to walk forward. If we don't, we'll think about something else. But, yeah, we'll basically use these cigarettes near the end of the run. We have the Doom to spare. We're moving into our 4th mystery soon with 40% Doom. Your third piece of advice, or piece of information from me, is that let me just make sure I avoid this boss. This is not ending A, right? I can't tell. But anywho, yeah, if you're entering your 4th mystery with 40% Doom, especially on Harbinger of Doom difficulty, you're doing very, 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 very well. That's all I need to say. And this is with me preparing, by the way. To some extent, because I don't think I did like 4 or 5 prepares. But even if I did, we'd be at like 46% Doom. That's quite good. So unfortunately, we're stuck in we're not in town anymore. Or we don't have access to the whole town. In Ward, you kind of do. You can still rest, and I think there's something else you can do. But you get the point. Anywho, order ticket, might as well. We don't want to lose uses of the order ticket. Hey, it's one of the best perks in the game, and off we go. I actually should have recovered stamina if I cared more about events than combat, but we have 4 investigations. I think 4 investigations. We'll do okay. Here's where I kind of forgot that, yeah, Ward is technically another 8 investigation mystery. Because every time you're skipping, that's an investigation you're not doing. So I think Ward, it's been a while since I counted, but this package doesn't matter. It's going to eat up inventory space, but I'm just being lazy here as we just move on. And yeah, if I am not counting correctly, then hey, I feel like it's 4 or 8 investigations though. I mean, you could actually do in between, because if the hospital pass is not in your inventory, you can't skip. So is it 5? I'm going crazy. Well, anywho, basically, you're not doing a lot more investigations is very good for you. Shrug. That's all I have to say. Now, a funny thing we could do is Eldritch Fluid twice and actually try to fight this, but between possibly like 4 all, we'll even say 2 all and running away, I wouldn't mind running away from a 2 all encounter from time to time, especially if we have the Doom to spare. Let me repeat that, especially if you have the Doom to spare. But if you want to fight it and you're going to get a lot of experience, so be it. If you care about Knight Errant, then yes, you definitely want to fight instead, unless you need the HP, but that's another consideration altogether. So we can order ticket here. We can eat the ramen in our home. So yeah, we'll just do that now. We'll grab the cigarettes, because right before we grab the vigil pamphlet, we will use the cigarettes, and hopefully we'll have enough cigarettes to use. This is going to be kind of RNG, because immediately you will be... not immediately. I guess after 2 investigations, you need to grab the Vigil pamphlet if you want to do what I'm going to do. I should have actually picked the middle option, by the way. But, wasn't the middle option there? I'm going crazy. Anywho. 13 cigarettes is what you want to see here, is what I'm trying to say. 13 cigarettes. Oh my goodness, I can't speak. Clap 3 bows, and off we go. Again, if you need the experience, please feel free to fight the guests here. I do have the Doom to spare. It's just that I want to be very conservative with my Doom. I was going to say liberal, but anywho. We have the reason to spare here as well. Although we don't have to fight this. Can we run from this instead? Adrenaline, by the way. So actually we could 2-shot this relatively reliably. But instead, I mean, we don't want to deal with that. Unless, I think that encounter actually gives you something if you defeat it. If I'm wrong, then yeah, there's no reason to fight that, really. I don't need the experience. We already have adrenaline. We could get doomed already, but we really don't care at this point. If we reach the lighthouse with 70% doom, I guess here's your 4th information for the day from me. If you're at 70% doom reaching the lighthouse, you're normally not going to die. Here's another enemy we run from, by the way, so never mind. Forget what I just said. We're spending a lot of doom running away. I actually should have fought that previous encounter then, but... Not the Rumu Ghost, but the one before, the Crying Devils. But anywho. Devils? Devil. I think it was plural. Anywho. Yeah, off we go. So, yeah, with 7 cigarettes left, that's more than enough for the lighthouse. Again, we really just need, I think, 6. I thought you need 7 because it runs out when you lose your last cigarette. I'm going crazy. Anywho, I know I have enough cigarettes. That's all I'm trying to say. We did lose the bath, but that shouldn't matter. We have 9 strength and mayhem procking in our face, so I don't need to look at this. Although I will still do this just to be sure. Yeah, we don't need to do much more. I even could have leveled up and just used the stamina that way. Or recovered stamina that way if I needed it. But we didn't need it because we were going to fail the strength check anyway. So, yeah, off we go. But yeah, Tonkotsu Ramen, that was quite powerful. That's guaranteed pretty much 8 to 10 all in a run. Unless I add a secondary effect. Which I probably should do at some point. I guess there, by the way, kind of. I knew I picked goal, but I was just gambling on whether or not the boss was my second encounter. But actually it is. It has to be unless there's a way to skip the mid-boss. But anywho. We did something else second. Akamanto second? And yeah, off we go. But, yeah, this is very powerful. I would probably add a negative effect before I release this as a backstory. If I don't release that as a backstory, it'll probably just be part of a pack. The plan is to just release a pack of custom content and let you include what you want. So it'll be more kind of a developer pack than a immediately used pack. But I'm still thinking about what I really want to do. If you have any ideas on what I should do with this, or if you have any other questions, criticism, advice, all that jazz, you know what to do. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!